Today, we're diving into two of the greatest engineering puzzles of the ancient world. You've got this man-made mountain built to last for eternity. And then you have this mysterious, intricate clockwork device designed to map the heavens. For literally centuries, we had no real idea how either one was even possible. I mean, just look at these two things. On one side, you have this masterpiece of massive macro engineering, a literal mountain of stone, built with breathtaking precision. And on the other, a complete marvel of micro-engineering, a kind of clockwork cosmos made of bronze gears. Both of them just seem, well, they seem almost impossible for their time. So that's the big question, right? How did they do it? For so long, the answer was just lost to time. But now, and this is the really cool part, thanks to some incredible new technology, we're finally starting to find the answers. We're seeing into the past in ways the ancients could never have dreamed of. We are living in an absolute golden age of archaeological discovery. And it's not because of shovels and brushes, not really. It's because of this high-tech detective work that lets us solve these ancient riddles without ever having to damage the artifacts themselves. I mean, we are using tools that are straight out of science fiction. We're talking muon tomography, a technique from particle physics that lets us find hidden chambers deep inside the pyramids. We've got satellites using radar to map what's buried miles beneath the desert sands, and we're using medical-grade X-ray scanners that can see right through 2,000 years of corrosion. So check this out. This is an X-ray scan of a fragment from the Antikythera Mechanism. Now, to the naked eye, it's just a worthless, corroded lump of bronze. But inside the scan reveals the impossible. These incredibly intricate, perfectly formed gear wheels that have been hidden from sight for over 2 millennia. And from the tiny details in the lab, we go all the way up to space. You see, satellite radar can actually penetrate deep into the ground, and it can reveal the ancient landscape itself. This is how we're finding the lost infrastructure that made these massive projects possible, starting with the pyramids. Okay, so the big question with the pyramids has always been about logistics. It's not just about lifting the stones, it's about getting millions of tons of them to the construction site in the first place. Just let that number sink in for a second. The Great Pyramid alone is made of roughly 2.3 million massive stone blocks. Some of these things weigh as much as 15 tons. So how on earth did they move all of that material? Well, it turns out that satellite radar found the answer. It mapped the ghost of a river, a now buried 64-kilometer-long branch of the Nile that researchers have named the Aharamat branch. It was basically a liquid superhighway that flowed right to the base of the pyramids. It let them use barges to deliver stone and supplies directly to the job site. Okay, so they got the stones to the site, but how did they get them up? For years, the main theory was these long, gently sloping ramps, but that seemed impossible. The ramp itself would have been a bigger project than the pyramid. But then a stunning discovery at an ancient quarry revealed a much, much cleverer solution. Evidence of incredibly steep ramps. We're talking a 20% incline that were flanked by post holes for a really sophisticated rope and pulley system. It was just a far more efficient and practical way to get it done. And when you combine that with the discovery of actual worker logbooks, it finally grounds the pyramid's construction in reality. As Dr. Roland Edmarch puts it, yeah, it was an immense logistical project, but it was a human one. And that kind of dispels all the more outlandish theories. All right, let's pivot. We're going from the absolutely monumental scale of the pyramids to the mind-boggling precision of the Antikythera Mechanism. Because if the pyramids show a mastery of organizing people, this little device shows a mastery of pure mathematics and mechanics that is just off the charts. So picture this. It's 1901. Divers are exploring a 2,000-year-old shipwreck, and they find this thing. A corroded, calcified lump of bronze that just sat in a museum, pretty much ignored, for decades. It gave absolutely no hint of the genius that was locked away inside. The story of its rediscovery is really a journey of technology. Those same X-ray CT scans we saw earlier revealed what was hidden inside. Not 1 or 2, but at least 30 interlocking bronze gears. Then, further analysis of these faint inscriptions showed it was tracking the complex movements of the sun, the moon, and all 5 planets known to the Greeks. It was, for all intents and purposes, the world's first analog computer. So, based on all the surviving fragments and the inscriptions, researchers have now built a complete digital model. And this exploded view, wow. It just reveals the sheer jaw-dropping complexity of the interlocking gear trains. It's a creation of pure genius, combining sophisticated astronomical cycles from Babylon with the geometric and mathematical theories of the Greeks. It even used these incredibly advanced techniques, like epicyclic gearing, which is basically gears riding on other gears, to accurately model the seemingly irregular motions of the planets and the moon. Seriously, this is a level of mechanical engineering that would not be seen again in Europe for more than 1,000 years. And its accuracy is almost unbelievable. Researchers deciphered inscriptions referring to these incredibly long and precise planetary cycles, a 462-year cycle for Venus and a 442-year cycle for Saturn. These were not simple approximations. This was high-level computational astronomy. So based on the digital reconstruction and all the known gear ratios, it's now believed the complete original machine contained a grand total of 69 gears, and all of it fit into a box roughly the size of a shoebox. So where the pyramids were kind of demystified as a feat of human logistics, the Antikythera Mechanism did the exact opposite. As the research team at University College London says, it completely upends our ideas about what was technologically possible in the ancient world. So what do we learn when we put these two incredible stories together? Well, it's clear that modern science isn't just solving old riddles, it's giving us a fundamentally new and, frankly, a far more respectful view of our ancestors. What we see here are really the two poles of ancient ingenuity. The pyramids, they represent the mastery of the massive, organizing an entire nation for a single construction goal. The Antikythera Mechanism represents the mastery of the minute, crafting a delicate, precise, scientific instrument that basically encoded the entire cosmos. The bottom line is, these ancient civilizations were not primitive, not by a long shot. Whether they were organizing vast labor forces to build for eternity or machining tiny little gears to map the heavens, their true potential was just far, far greater than we ever gave them credit for. And that leaves you with one final, kind of tantalizing thought. These discoveries were only made possible because of new ways of looking at things we already had. So the question is, what other marvels, what other secrets are still out there, buried in the sand or lost at sea, just waiting for the right tool to bring them back into the light?